Live Trends. I'm so excited. I am live from Rome. One moment, the car is passing by. I truly hope that all of you guys can hear me, can see me. Of course, I will give everyone a few moments just to get online. And as everyone is getting online, I also want to share with you just a few of housekeeping things in case you're watching this live after it is done. So first of all, I will be answering all of your questions, no matter if it is live right now or after this live is over. So if you're watching this live and you're thinking, I wish I did not miss it, I could have asked her some questions, please feel free to leave me comments down below, and I will be happy to answer all of your questions, even post this live. Okay, guys, I answer all of the questions. At least I try to answer as many of those questions. So I see people joining in. Hi, fabulous. I am live in Rome, guys. I am literally in the middle of the day, sweating, sweating for you, because I really want to show you Rome right now. I want to show you the vibe of the city. I want to show you how crowded it is, what's going on. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited. I see people signing in. Guys, as you know, this is your place to ask me any questions for your upcoming trips to Italy or maybe even Greece. If you guys have any questions for me, if you would like any help with your trip planning, if you guys trying to find answers to some of your questions and you can't find them anywhere, you guys know this is the place for you. My channel is all about this, about trips to Italy and Greece. And those of you who are also new to my channel and to this live, I'm also the founder and the owner of a travel agency that specializes in bespoke or tailor-made trips to Italy and Greece. So this is definitely the right channel, the perfect moment to ask me any questions, be it from the logistical standpoint or just curiosity standpoint when it comes to traveling to Italy and Greece. So here I am live. Ask me anything, guys. And of course, I'm going to be sharing with you a lot of useful information. We're going to talk about, again, what is going on with the temperatures in Italy in general, what to pack for Italy in summer, how crowded it is, things that you need to know. Also, as you guys know, when you do lives from Rome, it gets quite noisy when you do it from the streets. So would love any advice about visiting the Dolomites without car. Of course, so when it comes to the Dolomites, of course, logistically, you would have to, if you plan visiting without the car, then logistically you would have to figure out, of course, where exactly Dolomites you want to position yourself, and then from there you just need to figure out what places you would like to see, and then you would have to organize yourself then with the trains, of course. So you would have to logistically figure out where do I want to be located, what exactly I would like to see, and then of course the train situation, how to get to those places by train if you absolutely do not want to have a car. Another option is of course private transportation. So we personally organize tons of private transportation for my clients, for those people who don't want to deal with renting a car, driving around, etc. So if you plan on visiting Dolomites or even places like Tuscany, even though I do recommend renting a car for those places because it just gives you more freedom of moving around. But if that is not an option, then again, either trains or private transportation or the combination of both. But I would recommend for you first to figure out exactly what you would like to see in Dolomites, locations you want to focus on, and then from there figure out what is the best way for you to get to those locations. And of course, if you need any help and if you would like for us to take care of some parts of your trip, then definitely contact my travel agency. I left you the link down below and we will be happy to take it from there, okay? All right, fabulous people. I'm going to take you right now through my absolute favorite street in Rome. And this trip is very, very special for many different reasons. First of all, it is truly one of the most beautiful streets, not only in Rome, but entire Italy, and probably one of the most beautiful in the world. It is also very known because a lot of artists like Picasso used to live and create here, and there are a lot of movies been filmed here. So this is truly one of the most special streets on on this planet. Let's put it that way, without an exaggeration. So, I want to take you through this street. I'm truly so in love with it, and it is beautiful right now because most shops, most art galleries today are closed because it's Sunday. You guys know that on Sunday, a lot of places in Italy are closed, especially family-run businesses. They are closed because it is Sunday. It's sacred in Italy. So a lot of places are closed, but still the charm of the street is just something incredible that cannot be put into words. That's why I'm going to show it to you guys. We're going to walk through this street, and if you plan on traveling to Italy and visiting Rome, do not skip Via Margutta, because that's where I'm at. Don't skip Via Margutta. This is truly a hidden gem of Rome, and it's located so close to the Spanish Steps, just a few steps from the Spanish Steps. And, you know, Spanish Steps are so busy during the day. They're so busy. There are so many people. But as soon as you step onto the street, it's silence, it's quiet, it's beautiful, and you can really explore the street at your pace. Via Margutta is truly a hidden gem. So let's go, let's walk around, and then after that I'm going to take you to Piazza del Popolo, which is on the other side of the Spanish Steps. So you have the Spanish Steps, and then you have Via Margutta, and then on the other end of it you have Piazza del Popolo. I'm so excited to show all of this with you guys, and or share all of this with you guys. And of course, as we're walking, I will be sharing more information with you, and also of course answering all the questions that you have. This is as live from Rome as it gets, guys. And those of you who joined, just so you know, it is very, very hot and very, very humid. We're going to talk about this in a second, what to pack for Italy. So this is truly I want to show you how much I love my community, because this is not the time to be outside right now. All right, guys, so here I am on Via Margutta. I mean, look, guys, look at this beautiful, beautiful. Yes. So nice and quiet here. Do you mind just standing? I'm going, I'm leaving. The live video is really... yes, so nice, yes, of course. Here we go, guys. Going through the street, showing you all the cafes and stuff. I think I was a little bit too loud, probably, even though I'm trying to keep my voice down, but you know. Here we are. So beautiful. I love all the little quaint places and shops. Look at this. Absolutely incredible, especially if you're into art, guys. If you're into art, this is such a perfect place for you guys to visit. This street is just a gift that keeps on giving. You see all the art galleries. Like I said, on Sunday they are closed, unfortunately, but if you come here during the week, all of them are open. Look at this, all the streets. Oh, so beautiful. So I'm going to keep on walking, and on this street you actually have about, let me count, 3 restaurants, and you also have here 2 hotels. So this is, like I said, quite a popular street. Of course, a lot of Romans love to come to the street, just walk around, have lunch here or aperitivo. And the street is very echoey, and you guys know I am a talker, and I can get very loud with my voice. So I'm going to walk not to distract anyone and to make sure that I give everyone their peace and quiet. Look how green the street is, guys. So yeah, this is truly one of the most picturesque streets in entire Rome, Via Margutta. And this is also the street, those of you who are into movies, where the famous Roman holidays were filmed. So if you're into movies, this is actually a place where they used to film pretty much half of the movie. and yeah, the street is super famous. In the Christmas time, actually, they have a lot of decorations around the street, and they always put the names of famous people who used to live and create on the street. And like I told you at the beginning, even Picasso used to live and create here. And you can see, if you look at the buildings, you can actually see all the different name tags of all the people who used to live and create here. So you can see, okay, this person lived here, this person created here. So you see, guys, you have tables over here. This is actually a vegetarian restaurant. Not my favorite, but a lot of people love this place. So you have, this is one of the vegetarian restaurant options for you guys in Via Margutta, just in case. And then over here, this is actually a really great place. It's called Babette. I know a lot of you always ask me for recommendations, so here I am giving you free recommendations, guys. Babette is another excellent restaurant on Via Margutta. It's a combination of Italian and French cuisine, but it's really, really nice. So here we are, people are having lunch. Do you guys see how empty right now the streets are? Because it is around 2 p.m. in Rome and everyone is eating. Everyone is eating. So you guys know, talking about food, you guys know, if you watched my videos or if you already obviously traveled to Italy, you definitely know that in Rome and in Italy in general, all the food consumption is timed. So in Italy and in Rome in general, you cannot go, for example, and grab lunch at 4 p.m. if you're hungry. In Italy, every food consumption has a certain amount of hours. So for example, lunch is from 12 to 3, and then dinner, I'd say from 7 to 12, 7 p.m. to 12 a.m., 11 p.m., it just depends. So you need to make sure that you're timing your meals according to those hours, of course. It is very, very important. Otherwise, fabulous, you will be starving, because in Rome, once the lunch hours are done, they shut down the kitchen. So between, I'd say, 3 p.m. and 7 p.m., unless you're in the mood for a sandwich, you won't be able to go to the restaurant unless it's a tourist trap and sit down and have a meal. Unfortunately, it's not the case. So here we are. We are in Piazza del Popolo, guys, now. I'm going to show you how crowded it is. Everyone is sitting, enjoying the shade, and here I am, guys. Here I am under the direct sun for you guys, doing this live. Now, one thing I wanted to tell you about the weather is that in Rome, let's talk about Rome first. it gets, of course, extremely hot and extremely, extremely humid. So, whew, this breeze feels so good. So what is so important, guys, something that you need to keep in mind is that make sure that you are packing very, very light, and also only natural fabrics. Just make sure that you're not packing anything too no synthetics, nothing too heavy. So you want linen, you want silk, you want cotton, you want all the breathable materials, okay? It is very, very important because you will be under the direct sun like this, guys, for 7-8 hours, going, walking, exploring. So imagine being in this heat, in this kind of heat under the direct sun, because you guys see there is not much shade. You will be walking, exploring, so you will be under this kind of direct sun and in this heat and humidity for many hours. So just very important. I found some shade. It is very, very important for you guys to just prepare yourself mentally, but also, of course, make sure that you are bringing really nice, breathable clothes, of course, with you. It is very, very important, guys. So, and then for the rest of Italy, you have to also remember that, of course, north is different from the south. Of course, in the south, if you're going to Sicily, Puglia, Amalfi Coast, etc., it's going to be even hotter. So Rome will seem like a, like a breeze for you when it comes to weather, if you compare it to the south, because south gets even hotter. If you're going, of course, up north, if you're going to places like Milan, the weather is a little bit easier on you, but still, of course, it's going to be very hot. Hi, this is a great channel to understand Italy. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. So all this suffering under the direct heat and sun is definitely not wasted. I'm so happy that you guys finding this useful and that you are enjoying this. And so just make sure that, again, you plan accordingly depending on which parts of Italy you're traveling to. But I would say for the summer, especially in July and August, because a lot of you are asking me, Anastasia, for July and August, do we need to pack something for the evening? Will it get a little bit cooler in the evening time? And my answer is, honestly, you do not need to do it, because even during the nights, it is quite hot. The most, bring maybe a shawl or light scarf to wrap around you, because if you're having a dinner on Amalfi Coast, for example, and it might get just a little bit maybe cooler at night, not necessarily, but maybe, then you can of course put it on. But honestly, guys, you don't need anything when it comes to something warm to bring with you in July and August. No blazers, no cardigans, no nothing, guys. Just think summer all day, every day. I watched your channel before heading to Rome a few years back, and it is useful. Keep up with your content. Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope you had a wonderful trip. And I cannot tell you guys how many of you I actually meet when I am out and about in Rome, when I'm in Rome, and so many of you come and say hello. So always come and say hello. I absolutely love meeting you and hearing from you. And of course, I meet so many of you during my Zoom calls when I start organizing your trips to Italy. It is beautiful. I absolutely love meeting every single member of the fabulous community. So here we are, guys. We are at Piazza del Popolo. One thing that I wanted to show you is how Rome prepared for the Jubilee year. I have a podcast episode that actually is coming out specifically on this topic on Thursday, but I want to show you how incredibly beautiful Rome is now. Of course, it's always beautiful, but they put billions of dollars. Italy truly invested billions of dollars into restoration of churches, main sites, monuments. Of course, the metro is building, we're building a brand new Metro Line C, which won't be ready anytime soon, in the next 10 years, at least that's the forecast. But it is beautiful to see Rome being restored, being renewed, all the monuments. It's incredible, guys. They really did such an incredible job. There is one fountain on Piazza del Popolo that I want to show you, because it's truly an example of how incredibly they restored this fountain and how they cleaned it up. It's absolutely stunning. And then over here, guys, if you can tell, over here, they're still restoring some things. So I would say majority of restorations are done, but there is still quite a few that are still in progress. But Rome is just, I've never seen fountains at the Pantheon or Piazza Navona or other monuments and places cleaner than they are this year. So if you're traveling to Italy this year or next year, you guys are in luck, because you're truly going to see Rome like people prior to you have not seen it. So this is definitely a great time to travel. So let me show you this fountain back under the brutal sun. So I'm just giving you guys kind of live experience what it's like to be in Rome and in Italy right now. It is hot, it is humid. Plan accordingly. I see a lot of people also walking with umbrellas, so definitely maybe bring an umbrella with you if you really don't want to be under the sun. A hat, even though of course you won't see a lot of Italians with hats. So if you are wondering what kind of hat, Italians usually are not big fan of hats, but of course if you don't want to be under this kind of direct sun and you want to protect your head, definitely bring a hat and a bottle with you, a reusable bottle for your water. Because remember, guys, very, very important, you can drink at pretty much any nazzone in Rome. Nazzone, it's a fountain station, let's put it this way, where you can refill your bottle. Water in Rome is drinkable, it's delicious. So I would bring a bottle with you that you can refill. There is really no reason for you to be buying bottles and bottles of water when you literally have a city with some of the best water in Italy, where you can truly enjoy pretty much at every nazzone or every drinkable fountain. So let me show you guys. I don't know if you can tell, but this is how clean the fountains are. Look at the restoration of how they done it. All of this was quite, it was covered, it was quite dirty, I'm going to be honest with you. Look at this now. Look how pristine clean this is. Look at the water. They've really done an absolutely incredible job cleaning all the fountains. It's unbelievable. When you see it with your own eyes, if you guys plan on traveling to Rome this year or next year and you see these fountains with your own eyes, you would not believe it. It is so stunning, it is so clean, it is so beautiful, and I truly hope and wish for every single one of you who is watching this live to, of course, to come and experience this with your own eyes, because this is truly special. So this is one of the examples of how Rome has been restored for this year. Behind me, as you guys can see, there is a church. There are actually two churches. One is being covered, but there are two churches in Piazza del Popolo. And if you're wondering if you should visit Piazza del Popolo because it's not as popular, let's say, as Spanish Steps, Piazza del Popolo is definitely worth visiting for many different reasons. One, because this is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful piazzas in Rome. This is a place where a lot of concerts are happening in Rome, a lot of protests as well, a lot of different things. It's truly a square of people. That is the translation from Piazza del Popolo. It's pretty much the square of people. This is where a lot of people, like I said, come for summer concerts. There are tons of different things that are going on here, different competitions, exhibitions. So this is a very, very lively piazza. And also, this piazza is the beginning and the starting point to one of my absolute favorite places in entire Rome, which is Villa Borghese. As you guys can tell, it is right behind me. This is all of this, if you can see, this is all Villa Borghese. And this is right here. This is the Pincho point, Punto Pincho. And Punto Pincho will give you guys some of the absolute best views on entire Rome. You will see St. Peter's so close to you, you will feel like you can almost reach it and touch it. So definitely come to Piazza del Popolo and then go to Punto Pincho right over here and enjoy some of the most incredible views on entire Rome. And of course, Villa Borghese itself offers so much, guys. I cannot say enough about Villa Borghese. For us, if you have to compare it, for example, with New York, it's like Central Park in New York. Villa Borghese is the main park of Rome. So there is so much here to do. For example, you can take a boat, go on the lake. You can have a picnic here. You can grab some paninis, some nice Italian wine and go and have a picnic at Villa Borghese. And yes, you are allowed to drink alcohol in the park. Yes, you are. So you can definitely do that. If you're traveling as a family, there is a zoo. You can take your kids to the zoo. You can also rent four-wheeler, go through the park on a four-wheeler. And those of you who are passionate about art, then of course the Borghese Gallery that is located inside Villa Borghese is your place, guys, because it's truly one of the most beautiful galleries in entire Rome and arguably one of the most beautiful one in Italy. Borghese Gallery inside Villa Borghese is just a must for all the art lovers, absolute must. So strongly recommend for you guys to visit Villa Borghese. I go there every single morning almost when I'm in town because I live in this neighborhood. I live around Spanish Steps and I go there every morning for running, for meditation, for just a walk, just to clear my mind, get myself ready for the day. This is truly my place to center myself. The energy in Villa Borghese is incredible. If you manage to come there during the morning, you'll see the fountain with very clear water, drinkable for sure. Anyway, Singaporean. Oh, that's amazing. I'm always amazed from where people are watching me. It's incredible. Yesterday I actually had a Zoom call with clients from Guatemala. I said, this is unbelievable. When I create these videos, and obviously I create them for you guys, and you know this channel is my passion, is of course one of my biggest passions. And when I share all of this with you, all the tips, all the experiences, all my travels through Italy and Greece, it's incredible where these videos actually go. People they reach. It's just always amazing to me. So I really feel like I have the most incredible job in the world, if I can even call it a job, because honestly this is just me doing what I love every single day. And so yeah, guys, this is Piazza del Popolo, and buon pomeriggio from North Carolina. Was in Italy, Rome, back at the end of March. Your information was perfetto. Thank you so much. Thank you. And you know, I actually grew up in North Carolina, right? I know I talk about it sometimes, but people who are new to my channel, they always say, really, you grew up in North Carolina? And I always say, yes, I was born in Ukraine and then I moved to the States when I was in my early teens, and I actually grew up in North Carolina. I went to school in Winston-Salem, Mount Tabor High School, and then I went to the university at Meisenheimer, which is literally in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina. to a private university, Pfeiffer University. And then I lived in Charlotte for 10 years. I worked as an investment banker, and I worked at the PNC Bank. And then I moved to Rome over a decade ago. And here I am, fabulous people. Here I am, just living my dream life. I really left everything that I've built for decades back in the States, all for this dream, for living in Rome, because it truly was one of my biggest dreams to live in the Eternal City. And I really built my life completely from scratch here in my early 30s. So this is something that I get to do every single day and share this with you. And I'm getting emotional because this is truly something that I will be forever grateful for being able to do this, and for you guys, for my most incredible community. So I'm going to continue the walk. I hope you don't mind, so I can show you a little bit more of the commotion in Rome, because this is not about me, this is about Rome. This is about me showing you Rome and what it's like in Rome this summer. So let's go, guys, I'll show you more. We're walking through Piazza del Popolo, like I said. Here we are. And now you can see the two twin churches right here. Look at this beauty. Don't you wish you were here? Don't you wish, guys, you were here? I wish you were. I wish you were, so you can enjoy all of this. You know, guys, of course, I'm trying to show you as much as possible of this incredible city, but I wish you were here to smell all the smells from local restaurants and trattorias and cafes. I wish that you could, I don't wish you feel the heat, but I wish you could feel the energy of the city, of course, the vibe, the sounds, all of this. So I'm doing my best to give you as much as possible of that as we're walking around. Now, guys, you see over here, there is no traffic light. So if you see, of course, that there's no traffic light, you just need to start walking. Obviously, make eye contact with the drivers, but you don't need to wait until cars stop, because they're not going to stop. If you wait patiently, they will just keep going. So you have to just start walking, like I always say in my videos, and the cars will stop. I know it doesn't sound very promising, but I promise you guys, that's how things work in Rome, because not every single crosswalk has a traffic light. So you and I are going right now through this. This is the main gates to Rome. Many years ago, this used to be the main doors to enter Rome. And here we are, guys. It's incredible. And now we're going to cross this street right here, and go into the main entrance of Villa Borghese. So Villa Borghese, that I was telling you about, the park, actually has a few entrances, and this is the main one. So one moment, I found a shade. Anytime you find a shade in Rome, it's a good day. As you guys can tell, lots of tours, of course, are happening. I won't distract them with my voice. I should have been an opera singer, guys. I have the voice. I have the voice. I don't have the talent for it, but with my high pitch, I should have been one. So we are walking right now towards Villa Borghese, and I will show you how incredible this park is, even in the middle of the day. And this is something that I shared with you guys in previous podcast episodes, is that if you, during the day, want to continue exploring in the summertime, and it's really hot, like right now, What I recommend for you is to focus on exploring parks like Villa Borghese and museums during the hottest hours. So the way you want to plan your trip is that in the summer you want to explore all the sites, all the outdoor sites like Colosseum, Roman Forum, Pompeii, all the things that where you have to be outside. You want to explore them as early in the morning as possible. And then in the afternoon, you can go to the park like this, where you right away feel that the temperature drops, humidity disappears, and you can have a nice picnic, you can wander around, you can even take a nap in the park if you want to, or you can combine it with a visit to the Borghese gallery, like I told you, because in different museums, galleries, of course, they have air conditioning. I know it's extremely important in the summer, so this way you're not going to be under the direct sun exploring Roman Forum at 2 p.m., 3 p.m., which I wouldn't wish upon anyone because it would be brutal and not enjoyable. So that is how I would structure, and this is how we always structure the trips at my travel agency. We always make sure during the summer all the outdoor activities we schedule for as early as possible in the morning, and then in the afternoon either a nice trattoria, a nice picnic at the park, or just a park visit and museums. Or free time, or you guys can just do like locals do and have a siesta. I know it's more Spanish, but Italians in the summer, they do take a longer break because it's very hot, and then they work obviously later hours, so they don't finish at 5 p.m. Of course they finish later, again because they're taking longer break in the afternoon. Not every job, it depends. I want to give a disclaimer because I know Italians are watching me, so I'm being precise. But you see, guys, how many people are in the park walking around. And honestly, parks are perfect. Parks are perfect for couples because there's so many really romantic, beautiful things, activities you guys can do together. It's also great for families with kids, even small kids, because there are playgrounds in Villa Borghese and kids can play around. You guys can catch a break, and it's just a perfect place for everyone. Honestly, parks are one of those things for the summer time in Italy. They're just a must, absolute must. So here I am, guys, showing you Villa Borghese. I will show you a few more spots. Right now I want to take you to the place where you can take a boat actually on the lake and go around the lake on a boat, have a very romantic boat ride, and it's just one of the numerous things to do in Villa Borghese. Like I told you guys, there's so much you can do here, but I want to show you that lake because it's really, really cute. There are ducks there, there are turtles, beautiful boats, statues. It's such a magical park. So just hang with me, guys. I hope you're enjoying your morning coffee, waking up. I know I have a lot of people from the US who are watching me, so I hope you guys are having a beautiful Sunday morning. Thank you for spending it with me, and I promise the views will not disappoint. Just give me a moment. Villa Borghese is actually huge, guys. It's a huge park. You can walk here for hours and still not fully see the entire park. It's truly special. You guys hear the sounds of the summer. Oh, I love it. I'm going to show you a beautiful fountain before we get to the lake, making sure that I don't get hit, because then who's going to do this live, guys, if I get hit? Look at this. Look at this beauty all around you guys. All around you. My heart. It doesn't matter how many years I spend in Rome, I fall in love with it over and over and over and over again. Look at this, guys. Every corner. This is what I talk about when I say every corner of Rome breathes with beauty and history, has its own story. I mean, look at this. As I'm catching my breath, I mean, I know so many of you cannot wait to be here. Guys, this city is it just keeps unfolding in front of your eyes with so much beauty on every corner. I never, ever, ever, ever get tired of it. Because a lot of people say, does the charm fade away? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. For me, it doesn't. A golf cart tour. This is actually, I'm going to give you right now a pro tip. This is actually a great way to explore Rome. If you plan on traveling to Rome, especially for the first day, because a lot of you will be flying into Fiumicino, into Rome, from, let's say, US. And this is a great thing that you can do on your first day as you arrive. And the reason for it is because, one, you will be on a golf cart. So you won't have to walk for hours under the sun from Spanish Steps to Piazza del Popolo to Trevi Fountains. You can hop on a golf cart, go with your guide to all those spots, stop, explore, take pictures, and then continue on going. And this is a beautiful way to see Rome on a golf cart, especially the first day after you've been on the plane for hours and you're a bit jet lagged, of course. And it's also a great way to explore Rome if you are with little kids and they are tired and cranky and they don't want to go anywhere. And also the third reason why golf cart is just such a great thing, and we organize it almost for all the clients who travel to Rome for the first time, is because it gives you a great layout of the city. So if this is your first time in Rome and you want a visual map, so to speak, of how to see Rome and how to navigate Rome, you will be able to do that with the golf cart. You will be able to really get a visual map. So the next days that you will be staying in Rome, you will know, okay, Piazza Navona is here, Piazza del Popolo is here, Trevi Fountains are here. So it will really give you a very good outlook on Rome as a whole for all the other days that you will be here. So I personally always recommend to do a golf cart tour the first day that you arrive to Rome. For those of you who, of course, like I said, for the first time visitors. If you've been to Rome already multiple times, then of course you can do something different. Like, for example, a Vespa tour, because there are some Vespa tours or even vintage car tours, especially vintage car tours. If you have an amazing local guide, because we truly work with incredible local guides, all the clients on my travel agency can confirm that. These guides will take you on some of the most incredible paths through the cities, to some of the most incredible hidden gems in those cities, and show you things that most tourists never get to see. So if this is maybe your second time in Rome, or you are traveling as a couple and you want something more romantic, then instead of golf cart, I would recommend to do a vintage car. That would be absolutely incredible start to your vacation. I promise you that. We, like I said, we have an incredible guide, since we're talking about Rome right now, in Rome, and he takes our clients to some of the most incredible places on his car, and he also has a bottle of wine, of course, prepared for you, etc., etc. So it's right now too hot temperature inside Rome. The small town near Fiumicino airport is quiet and enjoys slow pace as well as seafood. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And this is what I mentioned in my previous podcast, is that I personally love during the summer going to other parts of Italy or Greece. I love going to other places, again,
to escape this heat. But those of you who will be traveling to Rome, Florence, Milan, etc. in the summer, and it's your only time to travel, then of course I want to give you as many tips as possible of how to organize your trip in the best way to try to avoid as much as possible heat and crowds. Because of course, even in the summer, you can enjoy Rome, you can enjoy Florence, you can enjoy Milan, but you have to organize your trip in a very, very smart way. Italy does require a lot of planning, guys. And a lot of people, when they start working with us, they say, I tried to organize the trip by myself, and then I quickly realized that there is no way. From the logistical standpoint, Italy requires a lot, be it getting between the cities, trains, figuring out the train times, the distances between the cities, the tours, the activities, the accommodations, the safety areas, all of that stuff. It just, there is a lot. And then of course you have to think about the restaurants and which ones are not tourist traps and which restaurants to book and how to book them, because it's not as straightforward as, let's say, in the US. So details that you need to take into account. All right, guys, look at this. You have palm trees, you have flowers blooming everywhere, and let me show you the best part. Drum rolls. Look at this beauty. Sorry, I'm holding the camera with one hand trying to show it to you guys. So this is something that you can do. You can go on the lake and spend a romantic afternoon on the lake, taking a boat and having your woman take at least 1,000 selfies for Instagram. No, I'm joking. I'm joking and I'm not. I cannot tell you how many couples I see on this lake. It's so funny sometimes to see, and I'm the same way. To see a man with one hand trying to navigate the boat and with another hand trying to take selfies, and not only selfies but the pictures, sorry, of his woman. It's always so funny to see. Men here, they are multitaskers. They are multitaskers because they obviously take pictures, they also navigate the boat, and also with one eye they're trying to see where they're going. It's a lot of fun always. But look at this beauty, guys. Look at this. Let me show it to you from this angle. It's truly incredible. Look at this. It's a dream, guys. It's a dream. And as you can tell, a lot of people are just resting on the benches, getting some break from the heat. You see, you have ducks, you have geese. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And then you have, of course, a lot of locals just chilling, you see, with the picnic areas. They're chilling, taking naps, reading books. It's Sunday after all. So this is just a tiny part of the park, guys. This is maybe, I don't know, 2% of the park, just so you know. So this is just one area of the park. But like I said, Villa Borghese has so many different areas for you to really spread out. You can have your privacy as a family or as a couple and just enjoy a beautiful afternoon in Rome. Doesn't matter the day. But I personally prefer coming to Villa Borghese early in the morning, because there is something magical about Villa Borghese in the morning. It really is. The energy, it's the fact that you're almost by yourself in the entire park, and you can really come here to meditate, go for a run, for a walk. It's truly something special. So here we are. You see, guys, this is where a lot of people people are at. You see how much more people it is comparing to other parts that I was showing you earlier? Because of course a lot of people know that this is a great place to escape the heat and also bring their kids. So this is definitely the place to be. And also you see there are of course local cafes throughout the park, so you can, of course, if you don't have sandwiches with you or paninis and you want to just grab food, you can definitely do that as well. More areas for picnic. I mean, honestly, guys, those kind of areas are on every corner. So I wanted to show you a little bit of the park. And I can do the entire live here, guys, because like I said, the park is so huge. It's very, very spread out. So now one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, something that I've experienced a couple of days ago, is the crowds at the Vatican museums. I went to the Vatican museums to film for you guys because I will be talking next week in my podcast episode about crowds, Vatican museums, all that stuff that is going on in Rome during the Jubilee year. And of course, I've seen those crowds many times in 10 years. But this year, guys, the crowds at the Vatican museums, they were insane, for the lack of a better word. And what I think surprised me the most is that there were so many people who were standing in those lines completely unprepared. Hence, they ended up in those lines. And I was thinking how with all the videos, with all the information. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. So many people, so many videos, right? Done on Vatican museums and the importance of booking everything in advance, and yet somehow people think that they can just come to Vatican museums and just figure it out on the spot. And it's never the case, guys. It is never the case, specifically for Vatican museums, guys, or Colosseum. You see, you can rent a trolley like this and go along the park. It's so much fun, so much fun. Oh, this breeze feels nicely. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Here's the thing, guys, about Vatican museums. And I really hope that maybe what I'm going to share with you will save someone's visit to the Vatican museums, and hence prepares you better, let's put it this way, for experiencing Vatican museums. I'm gonna sit on the grass right now so I can talk to you about this, so I can focus and talk to you about this, because this is important, guys. So like I said, Vatican museums, guys, requires preparation far in advance. Along with the plane tickets, along with the accommodations, as soon as you know that you will be traveling to Rome, of course, this Jubilee year is even more exceptional, but even if it's next year, guys, as soon as, so making sure my makeup is not running in all the directions, so that I'm somehow still presentable on camera. As soon as you guys know that you are traveling to Rome, be it this year or next year or the year after that, even if it's 2035, please make sure that Vatican museums and Colosseum are the first things that you are booking, along with your, like I said, accommodations and plane tickets. Because no matter the season, Vatican museums will always be one of the most popular sites to see in Rome. And if you come there unprepared, you will be regretting your decision very quickly. One, because I don't think that a lot of people realize the complete chaos that is happening around the Vatican museums. As soon as you even start approaching them, there are people who are trying to sell you something. Bottles of water, scarves, fans, all of this is just throwing at you. So the energy is already starting to be quite hectic. And then there are people who, of course, are trained to sell you something. As far as the tours, the very, very, very mediocre tours. I'm going to talk about this in a second. But there are people who are trying to sell you overpriced, mediocre tickets, tours, etc. So they're coming at you and saying, you need a ticket to go further. You don't have your ticket, so they have all this, kind of techniques to make you think, oh my goodness, am I missing something? I should have had that. Why I don't have it? I have to listen to him. So there's so much distractions coming at you from all the directions that you just feel, if this is your first time, you feel very lost and you start questioning things and trying to figure out what you should do. And the most important thing that you need to have for the Vatican museums is to, if you don't want to stand in line, if you don't want to pay double, triple for the Vatican tour, if you book it on the spot, you need to have those tours locked in far, far, far in advance. Like I said, together when you start booking your accommodations and plane tickets. Because if you have a good tour for the Vatican museums, your guide will contact you the day before or a couple of days before. They will tell you the meeting point. They will tell you what you need to bring, all this kind of things. Or if you have a travel agency like myself organizing this trip for you, then of course you will have this information way, way more in advance. So you will have the meeting point. This way, instead of you trying to figure out where to go, where's the lines, where to buy things, what I should buy, should I listen to this person, that person, etc., you can just go directly to your meeting point, meet with a guide, and together walk into the Vatican museums without the lines, without standing under the brutal sun for hours. You can just walk in and have an amazing, relaxing, tranquil, joyful experience. It is critical, guys, that you book your tours for the Vatican museums as early as possible. And make sure that you, of course, are reading tons of reviews. You know exactly that this is a legitimate tour, especially if you're booking it on a third-party websites. Because even on third-party websites, I'm not going to drop any names because I already said it before, even on very reliable ones, just because you're booking it on a reliable third-party platform, it does not necessarily mean that the tour itself is reliable. So you have to read tons of reviews and make sure, one of the most important things you need to make sure is that this tour is not the one that cancels on its clients the last moment. Because there are tons of tours, guys, tons of tours to the Vatican museums that gets canceled the last moment. To the Vatican museums, to the Colosseum, and then you literally come to Rome and you end up with not having a tour. So you really need to read lots of reviews and make sure that people are not mentioning that this specific tour canceled on me a day prior to my tour, or 2 days prior, or a week prior. Just make sure that you're doing your due diligence and booking reliable tours. That is the key, guys. Reliable tours with skip the line access, etc., etc. It is extremely, extremely important. And if you're wondering how to get the skip the line access, the best way to do it is with a tour. If you have a great tour, very much crowded in Vatican museums last week and unprepared for the sunshine for those waiting in line, yeah, it's beyond chaotic. You're absolutely correct. So just make sure that you're choosing the right tours for the Vatican museums and you book in those tours far, far, far in advance. And that the most important, you are not arriving to the Vatican museums or even to Rome thinking that you're going to figure it out on the spot, because I promise to you, you are not going to figure it out. And even if you come to the Vatican museums completely unprepared and someone comes to you and says, yes, we can, you can go with the tour right now, you can. But number one, this tour is going to be way more expensive than if you would have booked it in advance. Two, the tour guide is going to be very average. And three, you will be going there with the crowds, with the big crowds, guys, and your experience is going to be very average. So just a little bit of preparation can go such a long way, especially for the Vatican museums. And one of the tours that is very popular that we organize for the clients of my travel agency, I took off the shoes because it's so hot, that we organize for the clients of my travel agencies that a lot of them absolutely love, is an early morning tour. It's a breakfast at the Vatican museums. So you get to actually come without the crowds with your private guide. You can have a beautiful breakfast at the Vatican, at the courtyard, weather permits. And then together with your guide at your own pace, with minimal crowds, you can go and explore the Vatican museums, the Sistine Chapel, and then St. Peter's Basilica. So it's a combined tour, all those things in one tour. And you get to see St. Peter's and enter St. Peter's, not through those huge doors with lines. You actually can go through the courtyard and without the crowds enter St. Peter's Basilica. So you're really able to do a lot and see a lot with smart planning. And imagine, this is the final thing I'm going to say because you guys can tell I'm very passionate about this topic, and it even ignited even more passion in me after I spent a couple of hours around the Vatican museums filming it for you guys, the crowds and everything. You will see in my episode that is coming out on Thursday, this coming Thursday, is that I see people standing. Again, you just saw the sun, right? You saw how hot and humid it is. I know you haven't experienced it, but you saw it. And people literally standing under this brutal sun and humidity, guys, for hours. There's no shade there. So you literally sit in there. I saw people just drenched in sweat. And they sit there and they sit. And people who did not, like I said, book any tours, tickets, all of this, they literally, there is a separate line for them and they are allowed to go in maybe 3-4 people once every 15-20 minutes, and the line has hundreds and hundreds of people. I mean, imagine the amount of hours you're standing or sitting under this brutal sun and heat. And then after that, you have at least another 2-3 hours to walk around the Vatican museums. I mean, can you imagine how you're going to feel by the end of the day? For the rest of the day, you are done, guys. Under this heat, you're not even going to enjoy Vatican museums. And then on top of that, you're wasting your precious time in Rome that you could be dedicating to coming to Villa Borghese, having a picnic, or exploring another museum, or simply enjoying some food at a local trattoria. You're wasting all that precious time that you could be spending doing something that you truly enjoy, just standing in line, sweating, exhausted under this brutal heat. So please, guys, if you're traveling to Rome, if any of your work colleagues, if any of your family members, any of your relatives, anyone that you know, neighbors, who is traveling to Rome, just ask them, have you booked your Vatican Museum tour? Just give them this gift, because it's really, it can be the most magical or the most brutal experience, honestly, the Vatican museums, especially this year with the Jubilee year. But it's always like this. It's just this year, of course, it's even worse. But it's always, guys, please, if you're watching this live in 2026, 2027, don't think, Anastasia, I've been talking about the Jubilee year, now it's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. Make sure that you are booking your tours for the Vatican museums far in advance. No matter what year you're traveling, no matter the season. Yes, of course, let's say January and February comparing to September and October are not as brutal. The crowds are not as long, but still you will be in crowds and you will be waiting and you will be losing your time and you will be having a very mediocre, overpriced tours if you do not book in advance. Okay, I know I said enough about it. I'm sure I spent at least 15 minutes talking about this, but I care, guys. I care so much, and I genuinely want to make sure that you guys have the most incredible trips to Rome and, of course, Italy in general. Any other questions that you have for me? Last call for the questions. I know I tried to share as much information with you guys as possible, but if you have any questions for me about your trips, feel free to ask them now. And of course, like I said at the very beginning of this live, if you're watching this and this live is already over, don't feel discouraged. Make sure to leave me, of course, in the comment down below, and I will make sure to respond to everyone. All right, I think we're good. I think everyone is ready for their trips, be it this year or next year. It's incredible, but we already planning so many trips for clients for 2026. Sometimes even already for September or October of 2026. So planning in advance matters, guys. It really does. Because if you plan on traveling to Italy even next year, just so you know, there are already people that are planning their trips for September and October. And that is why it is so important to start planning your trips as soon as you find out. Because if you want the best choices of accommodations, the best choices of tours with the best local guides, activities, be it a cooking class, be it a food tour, whatever thing you want to do, wine tasting in Tuscany, truffle hunting, whatever it is, guys, just start booking far in advance. The earlier you start, the better your experience will be when you arrive to Italy. Okay? All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I truly had such a blast as always. I absolutely love doing these lives. If you guys want me to do more of them, or if there is any particular topic you want me to do live on, definitely let me know in the comments down below. And I left for you lots of videos also who are new to my channel. I left for you in the description of this live lots of useful videos on trains in Italy, on the best times to visit Italy, the worst times. I left you also travel guides. How is the weather in Rome in March? I'm about to answer. I'll answer in a second. Thank you for your question. The guides on Milan, the guides on Florence, Matera, Venice. So you have the entire library, guys, of content that you can watch that will definitely be useful when you start organizing your trips. And as far as the weather in March, it's a bit unpredictable. I'm going to be honest with you. Weather in March can be hit and miss in a sense that March is one of the rainiest months in Italy. So you can get the time, let's say a week in March, that is very good. It can be almost, you can almost feel spring and even a little bit of summer in the air, or you can arrive and have many rainy days. So it really just depends. From the weather standpoint, it's not the most stable months, let's put it this way. Now, when it comes to crowds, of course, in March there are less crowds. When it comes to pricing, of course, March prices are not as high as, for example, right now, or September or October. So it depends what are your priorities. If weather is your priority, I would look into May. May is absolutely incredible in Italy. I would look into June. July and August for big cities, in my opinion, is not the best months. I would go then to coastal towns. September, weather is already again a perfection. It's really nice. The humidity is almost gone, even from big cities, so you can really enjoy a little bit of cooler temperatures. Still summer, still full-blown summer, but in the evenings you will start feeling like temperature is dropping a little bit. So you will definitely get this nice relief from the heat in the evenings in September. Same for October. Was just there in May, already planning our next trip back and looking for less of a crowd. Yeah, May is fantastic. In my opinion, if you say, Anastasia, just 1 month, the most optimal months for visiting Italy. If you lived somewhere else in the world and you decide to come to Italy, when would it be? And I would say May. I would, if I didn't live in Italy, I would come. If I had any months to choose from, I would come in May. In my opinion, it's one of the best months to travel to Italy. But here you also have to take, again, lots of logistical things into consideration. If, for example, you want to swim, you want to go to Amalfi Coast, or you want to go to Cinque Terre, Puglia, Sardinia, Calabria, etc., and you want to swim, then May might not be the best months for you, because the water temperature is still not, it depends what kind of spring season we're having, but overall the water temperature is still not going to be at its best. Then of course you need to more look into June, July, but then we have to figure out the location, because if you're thinking about going to Amalfi Coast in July or August, guys, it is not fun. It is not fun. It is possible, but those are some of the most packed areas in entire Italy. You will be literally shoulder to shoulder with people. Amalfi Coast in the summertime, it's just brutal. It's not the most pleasant experience. Yes, you can find some spots in Amalfi Coast that are less busier than the others, but for that you need to work with a local travel agency, for example, like mine, who knows all those spots. Otherwise, you're going to have the most unpleasant experience, because I'll say it briefly why. One, because again, it's beyond crowded there. Beaches, restaurants are all booked out, all far in advance. If you want to take a ferry to go from Sorrento to Capri, or from Positano to Capri, be prepared to stand for hours under the brutal sun again. Also, all the prices in the summer for Amalfi Coast are going to be sky high, guys, because you have to remember Amalfi Coast is a seasonal destination, so the majority of the money that people make on Amalfi Coast, they make them during the season. So of course the prices are going to be high, very high, guys, for the Amalfi Coast. It's especially in popular places like Positano, it's going to be very expensive. So between the insane crowds, between again insane heat, very high pricing, would I go to Amalfi Coast in July and August? Probably not. But I would choose a less touristy but equally stunning region. For example, like Puglia, like I said, Sardinia, like Calabria. There's just so many other regions in Italy that unfortunately a lot of people are not aware of, because they don't have enough information to plan trips for those regions. They don't know where to go, where to even begin. And not a lot of people from the US travel into those regions, because they're still considered hidden gems of Italy. So people a lot of times playing it safe and go, like I said, to Amalfi Coast or to Cinque Terre, for example. But there's just so many other incredible places in Italy for you guys to enjoy if you want to enjoy some of the most stunning beaches in Italy, if you want to avoid the crowds, have incredible local cuisine and experiences. So it's just, like I said, either doing your own research or going with the local travel agency. And the reason why I say local travel agency, guys, is because unfortunately, a lot of agencies from the US, not all of them, but a lot of them, they send their clients to the same exact destinations because they simply do not have the knowledge of Italy. You need to live here. You need to travel to those places yourself. You need to eat in those places that you book for your clients. You need to know your tour guides that you are booking for your clients. You need to have all this local experience in order for you to organize this kind of local authentic trips. And if you are from the US, it's just impossible to do it, meaning if your agency is in the US. It's like me right now planning a trip for someone to Tokyo. I'm not in Japan. I don't know what's going on there. You know, it's just because I traveled somewhere, it doesn't make me an expert on this place, if it makes any sense. So With that said, fabulous, I hope this has been helpful. I hope it was useful. I hope that you learned something. I hope this live will help you prepare for your travels to Italy. It truly been such a beautiful experience talking to you, answering your questions. My absolute pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching, starting your Sunday morning with me. I enjoyed it so much. I'm truly grateful for every single one of you guys. My fabulous community matters to me so much, and I'm just genuinely grateful that you guys are part of this journey. Thank you until the next live, and as always, stay fabulous.